Until the end of the year, the UFC is ramping up the intrigue to the max. A change of eras in the heavyweight and welterweight divisions, a marathon championship in the bantamweight division, a clash between Europe and the Middle East, and the final stop of the ESPN era. Today, we're only looking at the fights that will truly define 2026. Short, professional, to the point. Let's go. 1. UFC 322, New York, Jack Della Magdalena, champion, versus Islam Makhachev. Challenger, welterweight title, what's at stake? Islam is going for his second belt and two-division status. Jack is the new king of 170, the cleanest boxer in the division, who likes to work in series on the body and head and punishes any pause. Both are in their prime, both are on a roll. MSG loves history, and this is exactly that. Style versus style. Makhachev, pressure against the fence, Dagestani handcuffs, half-guard control, chokes, discipline in distancing and timing his entries. Della, compact stance, hard right to the center, left to the body, finishing at the fence, calm work under pressure. Keys. First clinch against the fence. If Islam closes his back in the stand-up, it's rounds in the bank. If Jack holds the center and strikes back, the odds shift. Transitions after throwing off grabs. JDM punishes well immediately after setting up. Islam should not have any empty exits from exchanges. 25 minutes of cardio in the upper weight class. For Makhachev, economical pressure without burnt entries is important. For Della, pace and clean defense against transitions. Prediction. If Islam consistently brings it to shoulder-hip net and unravels the chain of transitions, a decision or a late stoppage by beating. If Jack doesn't let him lock in the body and meets the right-left body, a knockout on entry is real. Islam has a slight edge due to his wrestling and IQ, but there is a real window of opportunity for Della. 2. UFC 322 co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko, champion, versus Zhang Weili, flyweight title match logic. The queen of distance control against the most physically powerful fighter in the women's divisions. Valentina, clear distance control, kicks from a distance and left counters, transitions from clinch over, under. Weili, explosiveness, level changes, power clinches, knees, reverse spins in the stand-up. The question is, who will impose their rhythm first? If Valentina clinches and strikes from the ground, she will score points. If Weili breaks the center and breaks the leg frame, she can win on points or stop the fight late. Card confirmed as co-main event 322. 3. UFC 321, Abu Dhabi, Tom Aspinall, champion, versus Cyril Gane, heavyweight title stakes. The first full confirmation of Aspinall's status as number one without question. For Gane, it's his third chance and possibly his last. Style versus style. Aspinall, fast entry with a jab to the level, cutting into the thighs, instant transitions to back take, ground and pound with balance. Ghana, footwork, jab low, cutting mid-kicks, shoulder-pelvis defense, and arc escapes. Keys. First takedown. If Tom transitions early, Cyril loses confidence. Cage and center. Gane has a way. Keep his distance and don't get stuck in the clinch, but any hanging is a problem. Risk management. Tom shouldn't overheat his entries, and Cyril should save his episodes and not give up pauses without a jab. Prediction. The fight will either quickly go to the ground and end in a TKO for Aspinall, or turn into a cat-and-mouse game with Cyril having a chance to score points. I believe in Tom's versatility. UFC 323, Las Vegas, Merab Dvalishvili, champion, versus Petr Yan. 2. Bantamweight title. Why it matters. Merab is going for his fourth defense in a year, a pace that LHW and HW haven't seen in years, and a claim to GOAT status in the division. Yan is the most uncomfortable boxer at 135, able to punish every mistake in the ring. Merab took the first fight with volume and pressure. What will change? Keys. Yan's counter moves. If Peter meets him at an angle and hits him in the body on the throw, he regains control of the pace. Merab's clean transitions. Any empty attack is a chance for Yan to respond with a 3-punch combination. Rounds 3 and 4. Everything will be decided there. Either Merab will cement the cells, or Peter will read the trajectories and take the points. Prediction. Extremely close. Over the long distance, Merab has more ways to steal minutes at the net. The champion has a slight advantage in the decision. 6. UFC 323 co-main event. Alexander Pantoja, champion, versus Joshua Wang. Flyweight title storyline. Pantoja is the king of chaos and positional backtakes. Wang is the fastest upset maker of the new wave, with long series and instant entries after feints. If Wang survives the first back grab, he has a chance to unravel on points. If Pantoja catches his neck, it will be a short night. Prediction: 1 clinch before submission. Pantoja is the favorite in terms of experience and jiu-jitsu, but if the fight drags on, Wang's speed and volume will be a factor. 7. Fight Night, Qatar. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker, lightweight. Plus, Belal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary, welterweight. Why it's trending. This is the UFC's debut in Qatar, and 2 matches that will shape the contender pyramid for 2026. Arman is the benchmark for pace at 155, chain wrestling, finishing from the corner, dynamic stand-up. Hooker is experienced in cunning, knees forward, dirty boxing, testing for audacity. If Arman quickly takes the fight to the ground, it's a bid for the title eliminator in 2026. Belal versus Gary. Belal, after losing his belt, is motivated to restore his name. Gary is the coldest counterpuncher in the division with excellent distance control. Chess in the center of the cage. Belal has volume and wrestling. Gary has timing and discipline. The winner goes to the top 3 matchmaking after MSG. 9. Welterweight, UFC 322. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Why it matters. This is a litmus test for Leon's old-school technical cardio boxing against the new wave of striking playmakers. Prates is explosive, has long arms, a right knee, and punishes for stepping forward. For Edwards, it's a chance to silence the skeptics and regain his position in the top 3. For Prates, it's a leap toward a title fight in 2026. 10. The big picture. Until December 31st, Chimaev has already taken the middleweight belt, and that has reshuffled the order at 185. At the end of the year, we are only waiting for the 2026 contenders to be set, around 321 to 323 cards. Pereira regained the light heavyweight belt in 80 seconds, so 205 will end the year without a title fight. The champion is nursing his leg, and matchmaking will shift to 2026. Ilia Topuria holds the lightweight title, and judging by his statements, will not fight until January, which means that all the easy fights at the end of the year are qualifiers for his first defense. What will change the balance in 2026? If Makhachev takes the second belt, the welterweight will get a champion wrestler and a turn at the anti-clinch. Della remains the king of highlights contender. If Merab cleanly defeats Yan, the debate over who is the GOAT at 135 will be effectively settled until a new style emerges. If Belal stops Gary, the welterweight division will once again be dominated by wrestlers. A victory for Gary would be a major upset. If Arman crushes Hooker, the first PPV of 2026 with Topuria gets an obvious contender. The competitor is the winner of the next top lightweight match. Conclusion: 3 must-see events. UFC 321. Answer to who is number 1 in heavyweight and the new queen of 115. UFC 322. Champion versus champion at 170 and the super crossover of Valentina Viley. UFC 323. Merab's story and Pantoja's fifth floor. In between, there's Qatar with 2 fights that will shape the contenders for the whole of 2026 and the final chaos test of the year in the flyweight division. You don't need to watch everything here. You need to watch the right stuff. And we've sorted it out for you. Write in the comments, which of these fights do you personally rank as number 1 and why? And I'll break down the key exchanges and traps of each match in a separate video without spoilers before the event itself.